On this beautiful Sunday night, we are coming to you live from our Nile Serena studios. This is Perspective with Josephine Karungi.
Welcome to Perspective. Thank you for joining me on this journey. A number of you have been asking me about what Perspective is about. I'd like to tell you now. Perspective is a space for us to express ourselves. It's a space that I'm hoping we'll use to speak about the things that matter to us, the things that influence our society, the things that touch our children, and the things that touch our own lives. Tonight, our very first topic for our premiere show, we'll be talking about money. How honest are we with the money that we have? Are we spending and spending and spending, or are we saving, or are we investing? Let's have that conversation. Join me today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please, let's have a seat and start this conversation. But before we get into the conversation, I'd like to thank all of you, my studio audience, and everybody that is watching us from home. Thank you so much for coming on board. We hope we won't fail you. We'd like to encourage you to send in your thoughts, your comments on what you'd like us to discuss on Perspective with me, Josephine Karungi. Like I say, today we'll be talking about money. Let me welcome my co-hosts for this evening. I'll start with the Executive Director of Caring Hearts Uganda, Ms. Babi Chagulanyi. And as Babi makes her way to the podium, I'd like to welcome Maxima Nsimenta, who is the proprietor, Livara Beauty Products. These are all natural beauty products. Thank you so much, Maxima, for coming. Maxima is also part of the team that designed and put together the Kira EV. I hope we've heard of that one, the car from Makerere University. I hope I'm right.
Yes, you are.
And finally, let's welcome Anne Mohanji, who is a life coach. Thank you so much, ladies, for agreeing to walk this first day of Perspective with Josephine Karungi with me. I'd like to thank you. We're going to get into our very first segment, which is This and That. Now, in this segment, I'd like us to have an honest conversation. This is the month of March. It's the Women's Month. That's what they like to call it. And Women's Day is a couple of days away. We'd like to find out from you, to hear from you. Would like you to make a bold statement about where you'd like to see the women going forward. So I don't know who would like to start. Make a bold statement. Where do you want to see the women of Uganda going?
Well,
Anne.
I'll say it first. I think I would like to see the woman invite herself to the high table.
Give me a bit of meat to what you just said. What does that mean?
Inviting ourselves is, we've been behind the podium. We've been behind the kitchen. We're always behind somebody. I think we need to take that boldness, that courage to say, I am a woman, I'm a wonder, I am here, I'm creative, I'm enterprising, I'm here.
I should be given a platform.
A platform.
Well, you have the platform now. Let's hope we use it.
Yes.
Maxima, I'd like to hear from you. What's your bold statement?
I'd like women to take the savings that they have, to get the money that they have, and do whatever it is that they feel they yearn to do. I want women to realize that they have whatever it takes to be the person that can start out, that can enterprise, and build an empire with whatever money that they have.
And Bobby?
I want the woman to know that they have an equal brain, like the man does have, and they could do things even much better. I want the woman to believe in themselves and stand up and say, I can do this.
Do we have women that have been doing this? I hope you ladies are doing that. And I hope the ladies in our audience are doing that already. We'd like to encourage you, where you're watching us from home or wherever it is that you are, send us your comments on where you want the woman of today, the woman of tomorrow to be. You can use the hashtag PWJK. Write your bold statement for today's woman and for the woman of tomorrow. But now we're getting into our core segment, which is Say It As It Is, and we'll be saying it as it is on our topic today, which is the woman and her finances. we're going to talk about money. But what I'd like to focus on is how we can break this vicious circle of dependence. How do we take ourselves from that place of I'm constantly depending on somebody to bail me out, I'm broke, or I earn this much and I've spent it all, and now I'm just living day by day, taking each day as it comes. But before we start, Maxima, you shared a story with me that I would like you to share with our studio audience and also with the people back home about your journey. You quit a job that was paying you 30 million shillings, and I'm not joking, 30 million shillings a month to start your own business. How do you walk away from 30 million shillings a month?
My bold statement was, I'd like women to do things that they believe they want to start doing. My job was core engineering. I am educated to do engineering. However, my passion is not in engineering. Every day I would go to work and feel put down. I wouldn't have the energy to do whatever it is that I was meant to do. Yes, I had my key points to fulfill, but then in my heart of hearts, when I go back to my bed and sleep, before I sleep, I realize that I'm not happy. I'm not doing what, it's not my purpose on earth. So it's that constant energy that made me finally decide to quit. It's not all about money, it's just doing whatever it is that I love to do. So that's what pushed me forward.
Cementa, you quit a job that was 30 billion shillings every month. What job was that? What were you doing? What were you working?
I was an expatriate with Schlumberger, the world's best oil and gas service company, and I was based in Congo.
Okay.
So I was working engineering, right? But then my family was in Uganda. The love of my life, my heart, everything was in Uganda. I looked at Africa and I saw that I was earning way more than my average fellow beings were earning. It was a good thing. But then whenever I would go to sleep, like I said, you know that thing haunts you. When you're not doing the thing that you love, it haunts you. Money is not everything on earth. It's passion, it's love for the little things that we earn, that we want to do. My passion is in makeup, it's in beauty, it's in hair, it's in skin, it's in seeing someone look good. That's what I honestly love. So after working and I'd gained some savings that I knew would help me out, I didn't just quit just like that. No, I had a plan.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't wake up and say, okay, yeah, this is it. No, there was a plan. I knew what I wanted.
And of course you'd saved some of that 30 million shillings to start your...
Yes. I'd saved some of the monthly, So I had my basic minimum, for which I knew I can stay about 2 years without earning anything, and it will lead me through. So after working out my plan, researching about what I wanted to do, forming liaisons with different people, I decided this is it. So I walk up to my boss and tell him, you know what, this is it. He says, no, you have to stay. Then he offers me an agreement, a leave of absence. I take it. Either way, I'm coming back home. Then when I had finished working out my plan, I then used the money that I had saved to start the cosmetics company that I now have here.
Livara Beauty Products. Okay, Bobby, I have a question for you. Bobby is the Executive Director of Caring Hearts, Uganda. Where do you think our women of Uganda are today with their finances? Are we saving? Are we spending? Where do you think we are?
We are doing both. We are spending really hard and we are saving really hard. We are not where we would want to be, but we are not doing badly.
We're not doing badly.
Because we are empowering each other. I see groups of women teaching each other to save. They say, we have this group, let's save. And then there is this group that says, let's go out, there is this new shoe, and there's this new blouse. We are divided into two groups. So it is up to us to choose which side we want to be at. I believe the woman today would want to be wherever they want. There is two different spaces, but the majority is saving. Okay, around my circle.
Your circle are saving and spending.
Yes, some are spending really hard and some are saving really hard. Okay. But I believe the majority are saving.
Okay, and you're a life coach. Yes. I'd like to know, what should I do with my money? Should I spend it? Should I save it? If I'm putting 30,000 or 200,000 in a bank every month, should I rather take that money and invest it in something? What should I do with my money?
I think I'll just give the 5 things that you could do. It's called a 5-jar principle. And this is implemented by the Jews. And the Jews, by the way, are one of the richest.
I love that.
Okay, is Babi a Jew?
She wants to be one.
I believe in it.
Yeah,
She wants
so
to be a Jew.
one, the 10% you should always give it to that infinite intelligence, the God that you believe in. It is a natural principle. It comes back to you.
Yeah.
And then for the Jews, they actually go further and do a 10% to give out to community.
So
you
giving.
give, your hands are open, you receive back. However, I don't want to strain people. So I'm thinking if you're giving your 10%, we can stick to that. The other 10%, whatsoever that you do, put it away. That's payment for yourself.
Put it where?
Save it.
Where?
When I earn money.
Should I save it under my mattress at home? Should I put it in a bank? Should I put it in a piggy bank? What do I do? Where do I put it?
If you put it in a piggy bank, like Babi says, if I see that beautiful shoe, I will go and do something to that piggy bank. And of late, with all due respect to the banks, the money that they give you in your savings probably, just beats a bit of inflation. What I'm thinking, put it somewhere where it can work for you, but whenever you want it, you can always get it back. For example, you can put it in collective investment schemes. In 2 weeks, if you want your money, you can always get it back. It has earned money, it has not been taxed, and it's good money. The other, build an emergency fund. The other 10%.
I just want you to hold it right there.
Okay.
So our question on social media today was, what are your thoughts on putting aside money each month for emergencies, the emergency fund? And I'd like to put that question to our studio audience as well, and I'll be coming round, and I'm hoping one or two of you will have something to say about the emergency fund. So go ahead.
Build that emergency fund. Guys,
How much do I put aside each month towards the emergency
10%.
fund? Okay.
That is, I'm giving you the principle that has worked
Okay.
for a particular group of people, and they have lived for generations, and over 90% of them actually are financially resilient.
Okay.
Put that money aside. An emergency fund comes in very handy. That illness that needs 30 million, that accident that comes unregistered, and insurance tells you, sorry, we can only cover you up to 5 million, and you're thinking, oops. That car engine knock that you've been driving around and it goes off. An emergency fund is very important. Like she said, she built it for 2 years. Some of us, when we lose our jobs, in just 3 months, you don't want to look at us.
You're dead.
You're thinking, okay, what happened here? Anyway, the other step, 20%, invest it. Investment is key because it brings back passive income. Passive income is that money, if I'm seated here, there is money minting itself somewhere. I don't have to work for money, but money works for money. So when you invest it and compound it, that money comes back, and it's called passive income. And then spend 50%.
Where?
Draw a budget, not
Yeah.
shoes.
Okay.
You need the shoes sometimes, because you need to look nice and feel confident and sometimes. But that spending should be guided by a budget. That spending, you should go back to what is it that I want, the choices that you make. Give a bit of yourself, but also have a budget to know what are your fixed expenses, what are the luxuries, what are those should be that I should do. And you'll be fine. But the human being in us, sometimes it's hard. But the Jew has done it. We can do it too.
Has it worked for you? We want to be sure that the person telling us is
practicing this thing. People, do what I say. Anyway, the thing is this. I think the time when I misbehave about tithe, for example, I am a believer. Something just doesn't happen. I touch money, but the money just goes through.
like water
It
in
just
your
goes
hand.
through. And I'm wondering, where did my money go? So that I've proved. The time you need the savings, you need it. I joined an investment club because what would happen to my savings is that I would put it in and then I would see some good furniture and I'm thinking, I can save again. I joined an investment club. This investment club requires me to put in money every month, and if I don't, they penalize me heavily. So that has been sorted.
How much do you, what percentage, don't want to get figures, what percentage do you put in that investment club?
Right now, for me, it's not, because the time it was fixed, I was working. I quit my job just like her to follow my passion. I just couldn't stay in that place. I needed
Every time
to just
you
do that.
guys feel empowered for quitting your jobs, I still have my job. Okay,
are you saving from?
Let's go to the next question. Which I want to know, why do you think a lot of women are hesitant to invest their money? Is it that they're afraid to get into investment circles or to invest their money? Is it they're ignorant about the opportunities that are out there? Or is it that we just want to keep our money in the bra or in the bank and just keep it there and know that I have money?
I think the woman today is afraid of investing their money because one main one, they do not know where to invest. Yeah. They do not know where to invest. They'll have money and they will ask their friends, I have 3 million, what do I do with it? They do not know what to do with it. And I think it's an obligation. Each one of us must know what they really want to do with themselves, what they feel like that to their jobs to do what they believed in. So each one out there is talented in some way. Each one loves something and they can do it really perfectly well. So I think we should first know where to invest our money.
Okay. And in addition to that, we need to learn to read the newspapers. Like we were discussing the other day, starting up a mobile money kiosk would cost about 2 to 2.5 million shillings. But people think they relate mobile money kiosks to the lower class people. But you do not have to be in a mobile money kiosk for it to make money for you. The mobile money kiosk will earn you a higher percentage of interest than saving your money in a fixed deposit in a bank. And then you will be employing someone, you'll be adding value to the community. But we're just afraid to start something because maybe we associate it with lower class beings, which shouldn't be the case. Yeah.
My contribution to that is that we need to take risks, period. Most of us are cocooned to our traditional thinking, and if I put my money here, what's going to happen? Just get out, do it. Yeah. Find where you can put your money, take risks. What comes back with risk is awesome.
That's easy to say if you've never taken a risk and lost everything.
True. Oh, but we've also taken risks and lost money. It's not like we quit and then there's so much money. No, we lose money every day. But the thing is, we always inquire from the elders, people who are more knowledgeable than us, people who are out in the field. We ask them and try to find out ways of saving the losses. So it's all about knowledge. Inquire from your friends, from your elders, from your judges. My grandma helped me be where I am simply because I went and asked her about how to save my initial capital. Because we also have a belief that before we start a business, we need so much money. Yet you don't need so much to start. To make a dress, this dress that I'm wearing, I sewed it myself. How much did it cost me? 30,000 to buy material. But I used my hands to sew this. If I had sold it to someone else, I think I would sell it for about 200,000.
Yeah, on the market
because it looks good.
Yeah.
So we need to start with something. You don't need 5 million.
Yeah, and maybe to add on what she's saying, I think you don't put all your eggs in one basket. If you have savings, you don't get all your savings and put them in one thing. Put some. Like she said, you don't need a lump sum to begin something. Begin small. Watch it grow. And don't put everything in there.
Okay. Well, I'm just looking at that dress and I'm thinking, do dresses now fall under beauty products? Because then that
is a fashion. My mother took me
how many fashions do you
when you're bored, you do what you like, and then you figure it out.
Okay, I'm really happy that we have a financial consultant in the house, and she's coming to join us on the stage right after this break when we open up the conversation. We'll also be taking some of your comments from social media and also listening to the studio audience. If any of you has a contribution to make to what we've been talking about, and if you have a question for any of the ladies up here, and also the financial consultant when she joins us. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back. Perspective with Josephine Karungi. Thank you so much for tuning in and staying with us here on NTV. Our segment right now is Open Up the Conversation, and this is where we open up the conversation both to our studio audience and to all the viewers at home and the people on social media to participate in this conversation. Joined in the studio by Bernice Mbano, who is a financial consultant. She told me not to call her a financial guru. So, Bernice, thank you for joining us. and I'd like you to start us off. You work in this business, so I'm sure you speak to a lot of women every day. Where do you think women are with money? How are we doing?
How are we doing? Maybe as I'm back on that question, a lot was said in the previous segment. And as I was seated there, I imagine people are also sitting wondering, okay, where am I? You know, you're asking where am I, but where am I? And to know where you are, it's nice to ponder on certain questions. What are my financial goals? What are my saving priorities? What are my spending priorities? And what do I want? You know, many times it's not obvious to know what you want, but at least we know what we don't want. So if we can get rid of what we don't want, then we can know what we want.
What we want.
Yes. So
but
now that we
where are we?
Where are we is
so
where
far.
I'm coming, so that, because where are we is a general, I'm going to ask generally, but we want the person seated out there to also know where she is. Now, where are we? We can use indicators to look at that. Let's look at saving. Many of these things were answered. We are definitely not where we were 20 years ago. When you just talk about savings, like Babi mentioned, the emergence of investment clubs, you know, of saving groups. Even in the villages, people come together and save and do things collectively. Look at, there was a report that said we were the most entrepreneurial country in the world. And the number was led by women, over 28%, okay, of the population, but most were women. So to me, that shows me there is something we are doing. However, there is a gap between that and financial security. You know, we are not quite there yet. Now, financial security is that peace of mind you have. You're not worried about the bills, the expenses. You're at peace. Yes, you're secure. So there is a gap, and that gap can be filled by financial literacy. So there's a lot of financial illiteracy. What financial literacy does, it gives you the knowledge, the skills, and the confidence to invest. For instance, you will know how to set a budget and how to live within it. You will know how to borrow responsibly so that you don't become indebted.
Is there borrowing responsibly?
Yes.
What is borrowing responsibly? I just want to be sure.
There is borrowing responsibly. I mean, why are you borrowing in the first place?
To buy a Benz.
To buy a Benz.
To buy a shoe.
That is enough.
She loves Benzes. To contribute to my relative's quandula or wedding.
That's okay. You see, you need to have a plan of how you pay it back. I think the challenge comes, why we get so indebted is we borrow, you're borrowing from Josephine to pay back Babi, then you borrow from Babi to pay back Maxime, then you borrow from Maxime to pay back Anne. We need to have a plan. But yes, many times it's encouraged that you borrow for something that will pay back, that's something that will appreciate. Otherwise, if we are just to borrow, as we are women, you know, I can borrow for shoes, I can borrow for that dress. And now, again, no offense also to the banks, loans are more accessible now. You're in the middle of paying another loan, they are willing to top it up before you can even finish. So credit is so easily available, borrowing is so easily available, but if you don't have a plan on how to pay it, you get into a trap, and you get so indebted, and you're borrowing to pay back and to pay back and to pay back.
Okay.
That becomes a challenge.
But we asked this question on social media. We asked people about an emergency fund, why, if it is necessary, and we've gotten some responses. And somebody here says, thank you for this show. An emergency fund is so important in a woman's life, but it also has to be used right, and that is Mukasa Roni. Another Muzanira is complaining, and he says perspective. I hope perspective is not only about women. We should be gender sensitive. We will be gender sensitive, but this is the month of March. We are looking forward to Women's Day, which is next Wednesday, I think.
Yes. Coming Wednesday.
So we're trying to celebrate women this month. Bear with us. Bear with us. We'll come to the gentlemen next. Somebody is asking just 10%. I think at least 30%, but I'm not sure what they meant. Did they mean with the type, or did they mean with the saving, or did they mean, I'm not very sure. So just keep your comments coming. We're going to as well go to our studio audience, and we'll be hoping to hear from them if they have any questions or if they have any comments. But Bernice, I'd like to ask you, we are told, and like Maxi said earlier and all the other ladies, passion. See, I'm passionate about maybe hair. Should I quit my job and go and start a hair salon? What happens if I'm investing all my spendings, I'm putting them in this hair salon, and I'm not getting anything back? which I think a lot of us women are doing. That we love hair salons, we love clothes, we're just jumping into this business once we've saved just a little and we can invest it.
Passion is not bad, but it's nice to have passion with a plan, I think. Like she rightly put it, she didn't just walk out of her 30 million job and go to something else. She had a plan. She saved for 2 years. So it takes me back to the root. What are your objectives in the first place? You're going to the salon so that what? Yes, you have a passion, but what is your goal? You know, because some of these things need to lead us to financial independence or financial freedom. You don't just go to the salon for, I like it, I want to do it. There needs to be, yes, you're passionate about it, yes, it's good to go into it, but there needs to be a greater plan. And for me, that takes me down to the base. I would need to understand you. Why are you doing that salon? Yes, you're passionate, but does it meet your
future goals?
Yes, your future goals, where you're going, because there needs to be a bigger picture. You need to have a vision. Companies have vision. What's the vision for your life? Where are you going? Where does this fit in the vision of your life? Is the destination the salon and that's it? I mean, if the salon is bringing in and able to sustain you, well and good. But sometimes, like you said, you spend all your spendings in the salon. But there is more to your life beyond that salon. There are expenses. You need to understand yourself. And that is why, like she said, budgeting becomes important. I then understand, as I'm going to that salon, I need to make sure that the money I get can cover maybe my expenses, about 200,000. I need to make sure that they cover my transport. You know, when you have your budget, it's your economy that you're running. You can actually see, and you know, so at any one point, even you make any decision, you know there are certain pointers that must be covered, so that you don't just jump and spend everything.
Just in addition,
you
I
get
think
stuck.
it's important to know your purpose.
Yes.
Most of us just go through life. Yes, you can have passion. We have many passions. The love of hair does not mean that God put me in this world to do just hair. It's something, that hair is connected to something, and then when you connect those little pieces, I love clothes, I love hair, I love shoes, I love people looking nice, and maybe probably my purpose is to do personal branding. Probably that's the bigger picture. So the base is the bigger picture. It's not just the little thing that you're passionate about. You need to have a plan, the purpose, then fit in those things.
And like she said, I also believe that if you have a purpose and you have a plan and you have a passion, now you ask, how many other people have the same passion like me? That's true. Yes. How free is the market?
How unique is your product?
If I get in, what am I going to do differently? Maxi said one thing, and she said, how unique is your product? She used shorter words to say what I was trying to say. I was trying to say, what difference are you going to bring in this same thing that you have a passion in? You have to come different, unique, and beat everybody else that is on the market in that area.
Yes. Make a difference.
And then also, you don't have to quit immediately. You can have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. You start. If you're passionate about hair, let's try a simple salon. If it works out, well and good. Learn how to better it. Then if it really fits your plan and purpose, go all out, quit. Do what you love, but you don't have to quit.
Not all of us were meant for business.
Yeah, true.
We have heads, hands, and feet.
Yes.
There are those people that are brains, that they love engineering and books and all those things, and they probably don't want to be their own bosses. They just want to, and they work very well. Then there are those who are hands, the knitting, the beauty products. Those are hands. And then there are those who are feet. For me, I do not want to do anything. Just send me, let me do the logistical things. I'll put them together.
Sure.
So you need to identify yourself. Who are you?
Yeah.
What's my personality? What's my character? So there are those who will fit very well in a job, but you can still be financially resilient in a job. Then there are those who are meant to be business people.
So then there are those. Just before, Vanessa, I see you itching to say something. I see the audience has been very quiet. I want to hear from any of them. Does any of you have a question for these ladies or a comment to add to what we're talking about? Yes. We have a microphone that's moving around somewhere. It should be able to reach you. Oh, it's in one of the seats. Somebody should be able to get to you with a microphone. Right there. Yes, you can just tell us your name and then you can ask.
Thank you, Rosa Shaba. I'm so grateful. Fine, we appreciate you quit your jobs, but it now looks like everyone has to quit their job to do something. That's how some people may get that way, but you can still invest in something, keep your job.
Yeah,
Yes, but still do follow your passion. Yeah, and you don't need to have rent to do certain business. You're talking about business. Yeah, you can still do mobile business. Yes, for people who have cars, you can have those things in your car. Like if you do makeup, you can do it on a weekend but still keep your job. Yes, and yeah, I believe so. It shouldn't look like people should really quit their jobs to invest in things that, yeah. Thank you.
No, I totally support you. Remember when we were discussing, I mentioned that you don't have to quit. You can always start and see if it works out. If it does, well and good. If you want to quit, go on, but you don't have to leave. Also, you can use your savings while you're working to start something else, like a mobile money kiosk, like a chapati business. You don't have to be there. Work with that team. There are several people who can do that thing for you as you're earning your money while you're employed.
But you have to pay these people.
From the business. If it works, then it pays the people.
So I start off by paying them from my salary?
Yes, you start
At
like
my
that.
current job?
Yes,
Oh,
like
okay.
with my cosmetics business, like she was saying, I was carrying them in my car, making deliveries for a whole year before I opened up a shop. So there's that experience. You learn a step at a time. To papa, a step at a time, slow and steady with a plan.
Bernice, you had something to say, but I'd also like you to think about the emergency fund. I'm coming to you with that.
Okay. I still feel, even as we share that, and to stress, because you see, some of the things we talk about, we are on the leaves, and yet we need to go to the root. You really need to know what you want with your life. You know, what is your goal? Where are you going from where you're seated? What I like to do with myself, I ask myself, what do I have in my hands right now? Because what I have in my hands, I can control. You know, is it a job maybe that's paying me 1 million? Is it a car? Ask yourself, what do I have right now? And make the most of what you have. When you have, you're hearing all around there is restructuring, you know. Someone can wake up and say tomorrow, Bernice, the door is there. Thank you so much, yes. Not entry, exit. Exit. Yes, and you look back and you wish you had done something because you don't know how long you have it, especially when you're employed. But even when you're not, like she rightly said, we all have different stories. We are all at different places. What do I have in my hands? I like to write a lot. People tell me I like to pen, maybe because I'm a daughter of a professor, I don't know, but I like to pen a lot. Write them down. It may sound like something silly. Write down, I have this, there's some psychology around it. Write down, then my expenses, write down. Look at it and say, okay, now, how can I plan with this? Let's rise up and stop feeling sorry for ourselves. So for me, I just earned 500,000. I'm not like Josephine, for her she's on NTV, you know. For her she's different. Barbie is, you know,
No, I don't
it's another level.
30 million. I'd have quit my job.
I think start with where you are. Use the most of what you have when you have, and do something. And if you need to talk to someone about goals. Some of the things we do, we work with people and help them meet their financial targets. You know, whether it's for the children, whether it's for retirement, and I believe any goal can be achieved as long as you have a plan for it. That is what
okay. Our time is fast then, but I want us to run through the emergency fund because I think it's one of the key things right now that we asked a question about to our viewers. Do I need an emergency fund?
I think we all need an emergency fund. The question is, how easy is it to save for the emergency fund? When we talk about emergency fund, we mean putting money aside in an account somewhere for any eventuality. Maybe you lose a job, maybe an illness comes, someone dies, those unexpected eventualities. Now others will argue, okay, Bernice, you think I have that luxury of just saving for an emergency? Like I have the money there? It's definitely important. It's the most ideal place to be, but it is hard. It is hard to do it. So for starters, even saving is hard enough as it is. So maybe we need to start with saving. Then maybe when the emergency comes, you may have to use it from the saving. But it is hard to just have a fund called emergency. But it's something you can work towards, because before that you're saying, okay, but I'm trying to work on even savings. That step of savings on itself is hard as it is. But definitely we all need an emergency fund.
Like I want you to answer this question. When do I know that I have a money problem? How do I know that I've failed? I have failed and I need help.
How do you know you have a money problem? If you cannot pay your loans, if you got a loan and you can't pay it back, you have a money problem. If you can't, let's begin from behind. The daily usual person who doesn't have a loan, you can't meet your daily needs. You can't pay your fuel, you can't get your food, you cannot buy yourself the necessary toothbrush, toothpaste, soap. You have a financial problem. Then, if you have money and then in the middle of the month you can't still meet your daily needs, you have a financial problem. There is having a financial problem because you do not have a source of finances. And there is having a financial problem because you do not have a way of controlling yourself. Some problems are brought by ourselves and some happen to us because of the situations we are in. So I think you have a financial problem if you cannot meet your daily expenses, the necessary daily requirements.
I think actually most of us have, not most of us, okay, in this probably room or the viewers, is that you have a source of income. But most of us mismanage that source of income. So for me, you have a financial problem if you're not financially resilient. You're not elastic. Like if something comes, you need to box around and say, Banis, can I borrow? You know, you're fixing things. You're not comfortable. So anything that hits, you have to you don't have a plan B. So it's like a rubber band. When you pull it, it can go that far and then it can also come back. So that is financial resilience. If you don't have that, then you know you have a few issues that you need to sort out.
All right, thank you very much, ladies. Our time is fast spent, unfortunately. But this conversation doesn't end here. We're going to ask our audience at home and even our studio audience to tweet you. Are we all on Twitter? Vanessa.
Personally, I'm not on Twitter.
Or they can send, or Facebook, they can send the questions to us and we'll be able to share those responses. We can talk to you and you can give us the advice and we'll post it for you. We just don't want the conversation to just end like that, you know. So let's take another short break. When we return, we'll be having our show and tell segment. Stay with us. Perspective with Josephine Karungi. Now, we had to let Banis Mvano go, our financial consultant, but these ladies are still here and they're all on social media, so they're going to answer your questions. Some of the questions came in a little later and I'll read out some of them towards the end of this show so that we know where we are at, and we know this month we're going to keep talking about money and you know how to deal with that. But we have a segment called Show and Tell where we allow for an advertiser to come and speak about a product or a service that they have. And today we are delighted to have Jumia Foods. We have the marketing manager, Neville Igasir. I hope I said the name right. That was okay. Thank you, Neville. Thank you for coming. So I have a question about Jumia Foods. How far do your people go?
Well, right now as we speak, we only cover Kampala and Entebbe. But the plan is to expand further as time goes by. And without preempting what we're doing, I'm pretty sure Ginger might be the next town we'll be going to.
Okay, what is Jumia Foods? Just in case somebody is watching and they're wondering how did she just start like that. What is Jumia Foods?
I'm actually glad you asked that because most people think we are a restaurant.
Oh,
and
we're
not. We're an online food delivery service.
Okay.
So
what does that mean?
Basically what we do is we market for our restaurants who are partners. So all your favorite restaurants and vendors are on Jumia Foods. So all you have to do is to either download the app or use the website and you can order from any of your favorite restaurants. We pick up the food and deliver it to either your home or your office. Even if you're having a picnic and you go without the food, we'll bring it there to you. Okay. Right now you can actually order and we deliver it right here on the show.
How long does it take? We have a time. Bobby, you have a question?
Yes, I have a question. Sorry, I interrupted you and I interrupted what you were saying. I'm very sorry. But do I have to pay for the charges of delivery? If you bring the food to Magere, to my house. Oh, we are in Wakiso. Okay, in Kamocha. Do I have to pay for the charges? Yeah,
the advantage is the food is at the same price as it is in the restaurant. But there is a cost for delivery and that one depends on the distance of your location and the restaurant you choose. Because if we're here and you pick the restaurant that is closest, the delivery fee will be very low. But if you pick on the farthest restaurant from where you are, it will be a little higher than it would have been, say, from 1,000 to a person who have a delivery fee of about 4,000.
How do we pay?
You can pay with either mobile money or cash on delivery. But being Uganda, most people want to see the product fast. So they wait until we bring the food, then they pay us. Okay as well.
Yes, so the cost of the food is as per the restaurant pricing. And the delivery, I believe, is as per the market.
Yes.
Ofunirawa.
Now, obviously as a company we're in this for business.
Okay.
And how it works, the restaurants are our partners. So for every order we bring them, they pay us a commission.
Okay.
So the charge is not on the customer at all. The customer just enjoys the convenience of the service.
Do we have to, can we see the food that we are ordering on your site, or do we imagine it?
No, that's the advantage of online. That's the advantage of online. We've optimized the app. Jumia Food is actually free on Android and iOS. So on the app itself, we have pictures, mood pictures, that show the food that you're trying to order.
What if it's different from what arrives? What do I do?
Well, the thing is, most times even in restaurants, sometimes you order and you're like, but the picture is always very relevant, because what we do, we take the pictures ourselves with a professional photographer in all the restaurants we work with. So what you see is literally what you will receive.
So you guarantee that what I order is what I get at the price that is set on your site?
We guarantee even more than that. We guarantee that if we do not deliver in the 60 minutes we promise to deliver,
Okay,
the next meal will be free on us.
I've given you a lot of time. I've given you a lot of time. Thank you very, very much. I understand you had something for us.
I have two things.
Yes.
For starters, Women's Day is coming up. I wouldn't want to see all the ladies cooking on Women's Day, so their husbands, boyfriends, friends will order for them on Jumia Food and we'll deliver. That's one. And for the lovely audience you have here, Josephine is going to be happy. Each and every one of them is going to get a voucher worth 30,000 to use on Jumia Food.
Thank you, Neville.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Neville. And that was Show and Tell. Coming up is Pick and Play.
That was nice.
That was nice.
Yes.
Okay, so for this segment, it's our Pick and Play segment. Ordinarily, we'd have a game that we're going to play. But today, the people who are sponsoring this segment is EcoBank. And we're joined in the studio today by Primrose Kovsinje, who is the marketing manager of EcoBank. And she has something to say to us. Primrose, please.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Hi, Prim. I just want to say something small about EcoBank and how we're revolutionizing banking in Uganda today. So we've come up with a very exciting product. I'm personally very excited about it, called the QR code, the MasterPass QR code. So now you don't need to move with your card to make payments. You don't need to do all those things we've been doing, cash and everything. What you need to move with is your phone. On your phone, you need to have downloaded the EcoBank mobile app. And with the app, you don't need to be a customer of EcoBank. So you go to Apple Store or you go to Google Store, you download this app, you open up an account without anything. You don't need account opening, papers, endorsement, nothing. So you go to a merchant whom will have supplied with this QR code. Like this is AfriCell that I'm using now to demonstrate. You open your EcoBank mobile app and go to Pay Merchant. Watch closely, it happens so fast. You scan the QR. Just a second. There we go. You scan the QR and it will give you the details of AfriCell. You enter the amount that you want to pay AfriCell to buy your phone, your modem, your anything. You enter the amount and you simply enter your PIN and pay. That is how simple payments have become in Uganda with the EcoBank MasterPass QR codes.
Well, thank you very much, Primrose. Now, Primrose is from EcoBank. She's the marketing manager. But right here, I think you can see all of this. This is merchandise from EcoBank, and it's for me to give away. But I'm not just going to give away just because I like you. I'm going to ask some questions, and the 5 people who can answer these very quickly will get this. These, I'll give you 2, so you can take home to your child, your friend. So my first question, does anyone know EcoBank's tagline? Yes, quickly. If you can just, microphone, where is our microphone? Just pass it on very quickly. What is EcoBank's tagline?
EcoBank tagline is a Pan-African bank.
Is she right?
Did you say A? I said it's a Pan-African bank.
The tagline is a Pan-African bank.
Oh, I'm sorry. The next question. But then I can't give you any of them because you're from EcoBank, and then you're the one who got it right. So the next question is, how many branches does EcoBank have? The gentleman at the black. Oh, okay. Yes.
13 branches.
Is that right? Yes. Okay. So you win your 2 ampers. The next question: how does the Master Plus QR code work? They've just explained that. Let me give that to a lady. The lady at the back, her hand is very straight up. Yes? It is scan it, enter and pay. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Are you even on with EcoBank? Okay. What products did EcoBank just recently launch? The gentleman, yes.
The EcoBank mobile banking.
Is that right?
Not quite.
Not quite. Okay. Somebody who wants to try to get it right? Okay.
Okay, the EcoBank mobile app.
The EcoBank mobile app.
Yes.
And is that right?
Yes, absolutely.
And finally, in how many countries is EcoBank in? I feel like there is a classroom. Please give it a go. Okay.
Yeah?
Yes.
In 33 countries.
Is that right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Wow. So that's 4 correct answers. I will give you 1 as well for participating. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Primrose.
Encourage everybody to download the EcoBank mobile app. Life is simplified. Try it.
All right. And that's it for Perspective this week. Be sure to join us next week. The conversations on everything we've been speaking about continue online. We have some questions that have come in from single mothers who are wondering, how do I have an emergency fund if I'm a single mother? If I'm a lady who just earns about 200,000 shillings a month, how do I put aside any money for an emergency fund? All of those questions can be answered online. We'll give you the responses. But also, this conversation on money continues next week on Perspective with Josephine Karungi. Thanks again for watching. Good night.